has kept each and every one in this beautiful year. It is a year of increasing in the wisdom of God more than ever before. It is a year where many questions that we've been asking ourselves are answered without struggle, but by understanding and by the desire to know what is God's will in our lives. You see, life in general, as you grow and as you become a mature person, maybe aging, I would say, but I will specifically talk about maturity because maturity has no age. Everyone matures depending on actually maybe things around him, the things that he faces or he goes through, they make a person to mature. In other words, one thing that I can really talk about here is how life is. You know, we've been challenged with a lot of things going on lately, and now things are being lifted up, the restrictions. But again, it's not the end. I don't want to. I wouldn't like. I would say that I'm celebrating because they didn't take away my freedom, as they may assume they may have wanted to take the freedom of a lot of people. I know I'm moving on. It's still challenging. This life is like a boat. You know, when you're going through the storm, what happens? You have to soldier slowly by slowly until you end up reaching a place where storm is not. So life is like that. It's like a boat. You face the challenges, you face the storm. And in the Bible, they have mentioned about this over and over. When I read in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15, it says, "Be careful then how you live, not as the unwise, but as the wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil." So when you think about it, that every day has its own challenges and you have to face it wisely as a person. You don't have to just, oh yeah, now what, you complain, you're crying, you're lazy enough not even knowing what is going on. At one time when the disciples were had gone to pray with Jesus Christ, you guess what? Jesus went on the mountain to pray with them, and while he was praying, they slept. And he comes and he gave them that, you know what? He told Peter that I've looked at you and I've seen how devil is deceiving you, but I've prayed for you. But Peter wasn't seeing that. Peter wasn't seeing that. Why? He doesn't know. Sleep took him. I wanna ask each and everyone that in these days that we are facing, let us be people who are more focused. Let us not give up on what we've been doing. If we've been seeking God, if we've been fellowshipping, let us not give on what God has given us. Because these days, I'm looking at God leading me. I'm not looking at what I'm facing currently. I'm looking at where God is leading me. I don't want to stop the fire that is burning inside of me for knowing God and being available to how God is going to lead me. The second thing, is saying to be careful on how we live. Therefore, verse 17 says, "Don't be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is." Don't be foolish. What does that mean? It means actually that never be a person who lacks without reason. Don't do things without a reason. If I happen to go and explain this shortly, the definition of foolish, if you look at the definition of foolish, is a person without a reason. Don't be a person who does things without a reason. Don't do things without, take your time, read about them. Why do you go to church? You have to define according how you really understand it. Why do you read the Bible? You have to find a reason. You have to when you don't have a reason, devil will easily take you up, will top you down. So let us have things nowadays in this here. Everything that we do must have a reason. Why do I preach the gospel? Why am I on internet? Or why am I on Facebook sharing the gospel? There is a reason. I know why. It's biblical. The Bible says that he gave us the ministry of reconciliation. Meaning that what he did, he gave it to us. Who? Those who accepted him. When I became God's disciple, what did I have to do? To further what my Father in heaven has put for me. To go on, to take on, to get hold of what my beloved Father, whom I love so much, has put before me, that this is your task. Everything that I own belongs to God. Even my life belongs to Him. So I do what He gave me to do. That is my reason. That is specifically my reason. That is my reason to serve God and serve Him one, full, and wholeheartedly. I don't doubt Him. Why? Because there are a lot of things that want to occupy my heart. The forces of darkness that try to. Nowadays, Satanism is growing and growing and growing. But I'm not here to praise Satanism. I'm here to tell you that in this generation, everything that we are facing, we've got to be victorious over each and everything. God gave them to us. God gave this earth to us. When you understand that in your spirit, I guarantee you everything you now have a different picture. So I was talking about foolishness. You know, what is foolish? A person without reason, a senseless person, or inconsiderate. And another thing where you can define foolishness in Greek is called aphron. So, aphron, which means without reason, it's an adjective, without reason, and senseless, foolish, or inconsiderate. And one of the other things is lacking the overall picture. You understand that? You lack the overall picture. So, when Paul said, therefore, don't be foolish, but understand what God's will is, he actually meant that don't be people who lack the overall picture, but understand what God's will is. Therefore, don't be people without a reason. Why do you worship God? You have to have a reason. And when you have a reason, with that reason, that's how you will be able to overcome a lot of things. When something happens, you will know how to respond because you are a child of God.